What's going on, guys? Welcome to Footwork Labs. Today I'm going to be taking you through a series of ball mastery patterns that are designed to improve your comfortability and your touch on the ball. Not only that, all these patterns are going to be realistic to the game. Now, you might not do them in this exact format, in these exact angles at play, but that being said, all the ball mastery patterns here today will be things that apply to the real game. At Footwork Labs, we like to make sure that everything has a purpose. Nothing's for frill, everything's for function. Pattern number one. All right, we're gonna start with a U pattern. Now, purposely, it's gonna be a wide U, right? So it's got a wide base, very angular, all right? Using these two cones here. All right, what we're gonna start with is our left foot if we're on the left side of the set. Everything's gonna happen in a 1-2 rhythm. Now, rhythm is something that is really important. It's really helpful in terms of being able to replicate movement from one side of your body to the other. Obviously, the reason being that if it feels a certain way on one side, it should feel similar, if not the same, on the other side. All right, so obviously, as a young player, as you're getting used to this, it's gonna take time to get that comfortability on both sides of your body, but rhythm is a good tool to make sure that you can replicate movements from one side to the other and get it to feel the same way. So, as I said, a 1-2 rhythm, what you're gonna do is first pull the ball back, take 2 steps, 1, 2, right? As you go to the side, it's gonna be 2 steps again, 1, 2, and as you go and grab it, 1, 2, right? So everything is that 1-2 rhythm, right? So again, 1, 2, set your base nice and wide. You don't want to land tall like this because then covering the ground from here to there is gonna be difficult with that slide touch, that Iniesta, Croqueta sort of movement, right? So as you pull the ball back, get a wide base, right? Set your range, and all you want to do is move this leg to where this leg is standing currently, right? So how that looks is shifting my weight, and then I'm gonna move myself forward with that next touch. So with the ball, 2 steps, wide base, 1, 2, go, grab it. Yeah? A little bit quicker. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, slide, touch. Yeah? 1, 2, slide, touch. Right? So a little bit quicker. So the next pattern is a W pattern, all right? The way it's gonna work is you're just gonna draw a W around the 2 cones, all right? So as the ball's on the right, you're gonna reach with your left first, right? The base of this pattern is a Puskas or a V-turn, right? Puskas is just the name of the guy that came up with the skill first. I like to give that to you guys so you get a little bit of history of the game. Ferenc Puskas, Hungarian player back in the 1940s and 50s, one of the first greats, played for Real Madrid. If you don't know about him, you need to know. The V-turn, here's how it works. So, sole of the foot, you're gonna pull it back into yourself. And as I said, we're gonna be trying to draw a V, connecting the 2 V's, making a W. So the first one, right there, sole of the foot again, same leg, pull and open with the inside. Now notice as I do this again, the first V is done with the outside of the foot, so sole outside, and then I grab it again, 2 steps to grab the ball, sole inside. Now, in order to be able to open your body and hit both the angles in this, we have to have a little bit of a skip on our standing leg. All right, so notice on my standing leg, as I pull it back, I'm gonna take a little bit of a hop back to make myself balance, right? As I go and grab it, I need to turn my point of focus to grab it, and I'm gonna do that same little hop and skip to pivot and open myself, right? So again, hop back, outside, step, grab, hop and turn, inside, yeah? And I start again. Outside, step, inside, outside, inside. Alright, so far we've covered a U pattern with that Iniesta slide touch, that Croqueta. We've covered the W pattern, and now we're going to do a little switchback combination. I call it the switchback because you're going to move it from one side of your body and then switch it back as quickly as you can to the other. Alright, so the way this works is when the ball's on the right side of the cones, you're going to start with your right foot. You're going to pull it back behind your left. As you do that, a little hop forward. It should be in the middle of the cones now. And as you pull it back, this is the switchback part. You want to switch it underneath yourself, not out in front, because obviously that's where the defender is swiping for the ball, right? So switch it back underneath yourself to avoid the challenge from the defender, right? So as we move the ball this way, we should be pulling the defender across our body because with the balls are moving across our body, right? And now we're hoping to have baited them into a tackle. And as they tackle, we're switching it back underneath ourselves, getting away from the tackle, right? So again, a little bit quicker. It's L, turn, switch, touch. L, turn, switch, touch. Alright guys, so once you've mastered those basic patterns, now we're going to build into things that get you to open up your range of motion so that these touches actually end up being a little bit more applicable to the game. Of course, being able to do nice footwork in your own space, in your own little bubble, is all well and good, but being able to apply these things to the big field where you're covering much more ground is very important. So, first pattern is this. Using that same base of movement of pulling the ball back and taking the 2 steps to make yourself wide and balanced, all right? As you get there, what you're gonna do is drag the ball across this time. And we're gonna do this on both sides of our body again so that we get comfortable using both sides, all right? So as you pull the ball back, 2 steps, drag, freeze them, slide, push, all right? So again, 2 steps, 1, 2, drag across with the sole of your foot, freeze the ball, which should also freeze the defender. Remember, the ball has a magnetic property to it. Wherever the ball goes, the defender is gonna go. Eyes go, bodies are attracted to it, right? So we're freezing the defender here, and after we do that, hopefully we've baited them into a tackle, and we're sliding away from that tackle, right? So a little bit quicker. Alright guys, so now we're going to start to add layers into the patterns that we're doing, right? Of course, any skill has a base level. It's about adding layers and having variation in order to be really unpredictable in the games, right? So here's layer number 1. We just started with a pull, drag, freeze, slide, push. So now we're going to add a layer in there. Pull, drag, freeze, get across, touch, go. All right, one more time. 2 steps, drag, freeze, skill, slide, touch.
You need an apple bum, you gotta put me on.
So the last layer we added in there with it was a step over or a Revelinho, right? Stepping across the ball, twisting your hips, really lunging across, getting your shoulders into it, send that defender away, right? The body feint. This time you're gonna do the opposite type of body feint. So 2 steps, drag, freeze, scissors, Van Basten scissors, exit, go forward. Right, and of course, this is something you can layer up with the same Iniesta slide touch that we did before. Right, so 2 steps, drag, freeze them, scissors, slide touch. Right, so a little quicker, 2 steps, drag, freeze, skill, boom, boom. Right, bang, drag, freeze, scissors, slide touch.
Ela chega jogando o cabelo, morde na boquinha, encanta qualquer Ela senta e rebola o bumbum. Ela empina e joga o bumbum. Ela chega jogando o cabelo, morde na boquinha, encanta qualquer Ela senta e rebola o bumbum. Ela empina e joga o bumbum. Ela chega jogando o cabelo, morde na boquinha, encanta qualquer Ela senta e rebola o bumbum. Ela empina e joga o bumbum. Ela chega jogando o cabelo, morde na boquinha, encanta qualquer Ela chega jogando o cabelo, morde na boquinha.
Alright guys, so the last one, we had the same basis of our movements that we've been building off of so far, which has been that 2-step, setting your range. Then we had the drag, we had a freeze, a Van Basten, slide push, right? So this time what's gonna happen is, we're gonna end up making just an L. Instead of reflecting the movement on both sides of your body, it's gonna end up being just an L, right? So the way it works is 2 steps, drag, little skip, scissors, exit, Croy, touch, go forward, pull, drag, freeze, skill, exit, Croy, go.
Ela se joga em cima da pica. 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 Ela se joga em cima da pica.
Alright guys, so moving forward, we're gonna drop the step overs and the body feints for just a moment and build off of that L turn that we started with in the beginning. So ball's gonna be out to the side of your set of cones. If it's on the right, start with your right leg. What you're gonna do is pull the ball back with that L turn. As you get it on the other side, you're gonna switch your feet. Right, so the ball should be stopped with my left, and now I'm gonna drag across with my right. As I drag, finish that drag with my right, I'm gonna chop back with my left and exit the skill. So again, L turn, freeze, drag, chop, exit, go. L, freeze, drag, chop, exit, go. L, freeze, drag, cut, exit, go. So one detail about the chop in this movement, guys. Typically a Cruyff, if I had the ball out of my feet this side, it'd be one and then the other, right? So Cruyff is normally 2 steps. In this variation, the Cruyff, we want to make that 2 movements into 1. So we want to be chopping across in a sharper way. So the way it works, when we do the L, we freeze them. As you drag across, the ball needs to be out of your feet on this side of your body, right? A little bit further away from you. So that way you have to reach with your left foot now and chop, right? So both feet kind of land on the ground at the same time, much like a Cristiano cut, right? Like a Cristiano chop, right? So as I drag it across, I want to cut and land solid on both feet. One more time. right? The difference being, of course, you can practice both variations in this setup. So L, drag, that's the one we have been doing. You can get out of your feet and then cut with a Cruyff if you like. Right, whereas step and then chop. So the next one, guys, it's gonna be a Matthews body feint. Right, so the way the Matthews works is something that you guys probably already know, just didn't know it was called the Matthews. Again, a little history for you guys. Sir Stanley Matthews, English player, back in the 60s, 70s, right, if I'm not mistaken. His skill was this one, where if you're the defender, you're dragging him in and then exiting out, right? So it's just that nice little shuffle, drag in, and we accelerate out. So the way we're gonna do this in this pattern is, again, the concept of making an L, because this is just gonna be one side of our body to work right now at a time. Then later you can switch to the other side, okay? So, pull the ball back. Again, the 2 steps, making sure that you always have balance and stability so you can move explosively and sharp, right? As you get to this position, little shuffle touch to bring it inside with you. As you land from that little skip, you're gonna exit out, touch it forward. As with all these skills, guys, you can layer them out, and there's a little bit of a variation that goes with this one. So one of my favorite skills is the reverse Matthews. So we did the basic Matthews, which is in, out. So the reverse Matthews is just adding a layer. Instead of exiting there, you add a feint, right? So it would be pull, set my base, I'm starting to lean my body this way, pulling that defender with the drag. Instead of exiting there, right, I'm gonna fake around and go to the other side to start it on my other foot. So this one ends up going back and forth. On my left, same thing, 2 steps, in, feint, exit, go. Again, in, feint, exit, go. A little quicker. Of course, you can add a little layer onto the end of that if you'd like. 2 steps, in, feint, exit, Cruyff. Start again. A couple of these combinations involve a chop at the end of it. So in case you're not comfortable with that, you can just do that over and over in this sort of pattern. Repetition, right? Practice makes perfect, and you get the mechanics that you need to add it in later to the rest of the pattern. All right, so this one was the pull back, drag, freeze, scissors, exit. So the way that works is pull, drag, freeze, scissors, exit, touch, start again, pull, drag, little skip on the freeze, exit, touch, touch, variation, right? Iniesta, at the end of it, slide push, or you can do it basic and exit with the outside of your foot. This one was the L switch, right? And then a drag. So pull in the L, switch your feet, drag, and cut. Go forward and start again. So we start with that L, switch your feet, drag it, cut, L. Matthews, right? Just the basic, making just an L. You're not reflecting this on both sides of your body right now, so you're just doing this one side of your body at a time, or unilaterally, right? 2 steps, slide, exit. Again, 2 steps. steps, in, out, go. Right, that little shuffle touch here, then outside the foot to go forward, right? Of course, we had a little layer that we can throw on that where instead of exiting with the outside of the foot, we're doing a scissors. And of course, that scissors, guys, can happen around the ball, right? In front of it, it can happen over it, even though I wouldn't suggest it. It can happen behind it, right? The main thing being that you get your upper body involved in the movement to really speak to the defender, making the whole movement as visual as possible. So of course, adding on one more layer onto that one, we had pull, in, feint, exit, croy. Start again. Pull, 2 steps, in, feint, out, chop. One detail on this, make sure that as you exit the Matthews or the fake Matthews, right here, make sure that that touch goes out of your feet, right? Because that's gonna signal to the defender that you're now gonna do something on this side of your body, whether that be pass, shoot, or dribble, right? Then we're gonna step into it with a lot of momentum, our whole body speaking to the defender, making it as visual as possible. Cut back, right? So again, in, fake, out of my feet, go get it, chop and come back home, right? A little quicker. With that same pattern, you can also, instead of it being a shuffle touch, that little hop and shuffle, right? It can be a drag, which, you know, for style intent, right? It looks a little bit more stylish. That being said, it's not about the style. It's about the ability to have these movements apply in different scenarios, right? So there's some times where maybe you're locked up against the line, you don't have a lot of space, you just gotta get the ball moving, shuffle it, and you're out of there. There's other times when you might have a little bit more space, and you might be doing it at a little bit slower of a pace to really attract that defender, right? So in which case a drag might be a good substitution for the shuffle. So it could work like this: drag, feint, exit, croy, right? A little quicker. Pull, drag, exit, yeah, chop. And again. Right, of course, that chop can happen right after the drag as well. Sorry, right after the scissors. As you pull it, drag, feint, chop. Right, so instead of pushing the ball out of your feet, you're chopping right away after the scissors. So pull, drag, feint, cut. Right, again. Ooh.